I saw a really cool Instagram today where this lady was like, I'm here in the library and I'm wearing a hat, and this old man came in and walked up to me and said, show some respect and take your hat off when you're indoors. And she like had a conversation with him. She stayed very calm, and she was like, explain to me what you think respect is. And he was like, he was like taken aback that she was like challenging him or whatever, and she's like, no, I just want to know what your view of respect is. And he was like, well, it's when you obey the rules and the standards of society. And she's like, well, that's obedience, that's not respect, so what's respect? And he just kept going back to obeying what's expected of you. And I feel like that is a pretty good summation of like the older generation and like how they think about things and why they judge us for being disrespectful and stuff. But I was just proud of her for, number one, staying really calm and like having this conversation to open this guy's eyes. And then she was like, and I finished the conversation by showing him what my version of respect is, which is, well, we see things differently, and I hope you have a great day. And that was it. And I was like, you go, girl. Like, that's the kind of like drama that I want on my Instagram reels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Drama.
Mature drama.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just like having a healthy discussion through their differences and just being like, okay, well, have a nice day.
Because I feel like I'm a fairly level-headed person most of the time. But if a stranger walked up to me and told me that I was being disrespectful for just living my life, I don't think I would have been level-headed.
As patient?
Yeah, no way.
No. I definitely could see me being like, yeah.
Say that again.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, I feel like in the past, that's how I would act. Because I used to like worship the Bad Girls Club. I don't know if you guys see that. Yes, that was my religion. No, but I feel like now I'm just like kind of over everything. That I'm just like, okay, whatever. So I like not even gonna bother with it. Like, I mean, I hate it obviously, but I just feel like, okay, I got other shit to worry about. Like,
which honestly, like, that's better. It's kind of like turning the other cheek, yeah, and just being like, whatever. And like, that's better because that ultimately leads to, you know how, you know, you want to practice these virtues and like these things of being a good human being. I would say that leads to patience and like not letting things get to you, and like, because it's not worth it, and then ultimately it perpetuates the negative. If you carry it on, you get pissed, you get, you know, ruins the rest of your day, versus, okay, well, I'm not gonna let that, you know, eat away at me and bother me, and I'm just gonna let it go. So, look at you, becoming Christ-like.
Didn't mean to, but here we are. No.
Who's that lady? You probably know the name, but she has the let them theory. What's her name?
Oh, yeah. Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins, yes. That's what reminded me of let them. Which is really hard to do with your inner circle. I feel like you can't just let your inner circle be. But with other people that don't really affect you, yeah, let them.
Yeah.
Which is really hard. It's still really hard, but...
It is hard. I definitely... Yeah, it definitely gets harder with, like, people that, as they get closer to you, like, closer relationships, but ultimately I'm like, yeah, it same thing, same track of, like, just whatever. Let life go on, and don't let it ruin you.
Yeah.
Mel Robbins is a good example of one of those mature, level-headed adults who she has her shit together, and she teaches you how to be a better adult. And I love that let them
Theory,
yeah. It's not even a theory, it is.
A practice.
Practice, I like that. Yeah, and like you said, it's easier said than done, but when you just allow people to do what they're going to do and not let it affect you, like you were saying, it also, I think, you don't attract that negativity. And even when you're around it, I feel like I don't notice it. And somebody will be like, did you hear the way that person was acting? And I'll be like, I guess I did, but it didn't like resonate with me. It didn't affect me. And that's nice.
Yeah.
Because I am the type of person that will like focus on something for the whole rest of the day and maybe even longer. Like, yeah, I did hear what they said about me, and I'm not okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about stuff that happened like 7 years ago.
Oh no.
Yeah, seriously. But I've gotten way better because like since I like started like newsflash, I get high. Anyways, one time Cooper was like, I was like super paranoid about stuff, and then Cooper was telling me to like, oh, just we're having a good time, like nothing's really happening. So like now I like don't even think about like stuff that happened 7 years ago, which used to affect me a lot. Like I was constantly thinking of it.
Mm-hmm.
So look at you being Christ-like.
Wow.
I love all of us.
I love that you bring that up because I remember that. I do that too. And I think of old things in the past as well. I'll catch myself like falling asleep at night, running over some kind of conversation, or even in the shower, I'm like replaying some altercation I had with someone. And it was actually through subconscious therapy that I realized that that's not serving me in any way. It's just bringing up that negativity and bringing up all those negative emotions, and I'm feeling it all again. But that person is living their life just going on. I'm the only one suffering from the malice that I feel. And so I just leave that book on the shelf, don't touch it, and try to change the subject and move on.
I feel that.
So I think I must have recognized it. I was like, I know that face. I know the paranoia. I see it. I'm going to call it out.
And you did.
And
you did that.
Glad I did.
So, would you like to talk about what Sean and I are doing that's Christ-like?
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you guys do?
Anyways, I have more.
Because we are very Christ-like.
Right.
Over here on this
That's
couch.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it's good to it's good to learn to let those things go, for sure. Because same things from years ago hang on to.
I feel like you are a good example of that, though. Like, you're talking about it, but you are a good example of that. Like, I've come over here, like, ready to rage, talking about just things that have affected me, and I love how you're always in the background, and you're always giving your insights, and you just have this calm demeanor that you're like, yeah, that sucks, but you're gonna be okay.
The bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
Christ-like.
Christ-like. Yes.
Like, you're very Christ-like.
Wow.
I tell you all the
I'm
time.
just kidding.
And yeah, I'm gonna. I know you don't want to hear it, but I'm gonna. For you, it's loyalty. I feel like you are very loyal to your people, and you're also kind of an empath to a fault, where it hurts you sometimes, but you feel what your friends feel, your family feels, and you really try to care and even help if you can, which a lot of times you can't, but you're there to listen and there to go through the emotions. I appreciate that.
Thanks.
I get that from, yeah, I definitely get that from Blakely, so spot on.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, Mel Robbins. You should listen to her. She's so good. She's so funny too. I think she's funny. She's the personality that I'm like, yeah, I can listen to you because, yeah, there's this one that Cooper just was like, what are we listening to? She was talking about bathroom stuff, a situation.
I don't have any patience for that conversation.
Yeah.
So I was going to include a bathroom thing in here today, and I was like, I know Cooper doesn't like it. And I was going to do it, but then at the last minute I cut it because I was like, nah, I can't.
That's so nice of you, but you didn't have to do that for me. I can handle it, I just probably won't have very much
But
to
the
say.
one that I wanted to include was a little extreme, and so I was like, I was just going to cut it. And
You're
I did.
making me excited for this
So-
I know, me too.
So, talking about Christ-like, I don't get too Christ-like yet. Because we're going to give our opinions on other people's lives and their situations.
Woo.
So, welcome to the two...
You did it again!
Yeah,
So good.
Welcome to the Fake Bitzes podcast. I'm Blakely.
I'm Sean.
I'm Nane.
And I'm Cooper.
Today is kind of a tribute to my favorite podcast, which is Two Hot Takes. And I listen to it so much that I think I'm her.
She
That's why
introduces us.
every time
Yeah,
I feel so
Blakely's
bad.
last episode that she hosted, she introduced us as the two
Two hot takes.
That's funny. 2 for 2.
She's a fake fan. She's a real fan.
She's a real Bitz.
Yeah.
She's a real fan of Two Hot Takes. She's
Yeah.
a fake fan of Fake Bitzes podcast.
Thank you.
Which is my own work. So, yeah. Sorry. But I love her podcast. I found her on TikTok, and I found her on TikTok, and then you sent me a couple of videos of her. And I fell in love. So what she is, her name is Morgan Absher. She has a podcast called Two Hot Takes, and it's her always and a friend, I think her best friends, fitting, and sometimes it's her dad on there, or sometimes she has a special guest from another podcast, and they read Reddit stories. It started along the lines of Am I the Asshole, and it just grew from there. So she'll read stories from people that write in saying, am I the asshole? And they'll tell their story, and then they judge them or give their opinion. So I wanted to kind of do that. I didn't want to take away from her or like mimic any stories that she had. So I found my own stories, and that's why we started this podcast, is to share our opinions and thoughts. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm excited.
Yeah, this is wild. I'm like, let me get my notebook out.
Yeah. So I am going to start, I think, my first 2 stories, and I don't know how she does it, because sometimes she's like, this was posted 2 hours ago, and I'm like, whoa, I can't be that quick, so she's awesome. But I did go to her Reddit, so these first 2 stories are from the Two Hot Takes subreddit. Also, learning how to work Reddit was crazy. It is so different than any social media platform.
Reddit?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I've been searching and searching for what I thought would be the best stories. So
I haven't spent much time on Reddit, but I'm the one that goes on like the Safari app, and it says, do you want to make a Reddit account to be able to see the rest? So I'm like, no, I got my answer in the first 3 comments or something.
I use Reddit only when like I'm playing a video game and like I'm stuck at this one part and I feel like I have a faulty game, and so like I go looking to see.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah, it's not me.
Yeah.
It's not the way I play. But yeah, that's the only time I use Reddit.
Same. It's for like, also very obscure things that I'm like, this video game isn't doing this very specific thing, like what's happening, or my device, like a specific device. It's so crazy. The things that people like, there's something for everyone's, like, someone's run into that situation and they're like, yeah, here's my advice, or
what a
the
time
solution.
to be alive.
Right. At our fingertips.
Right.
Or this is how you fix this. Like, I've looked, like, how do you know how to fix such and such? Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, so we're easing in. The first couple, I think it'll gradually take us somewhere, but we're going to ease in at the beginning. Like I said, the first 2 stories are from her subreddit, so the Two Hot Takes subreddit. First story is actually a throwaway account, and it is titled, Am I the Asshole for Raising My Voice When Telling My Sister to Drop the Subject of What Me and My Wife Are Going to Name Our Son? Ready? Okay. My wife is pregnant with our first child. 2 weeks ago, we found out that she's having a boy. Years ago, my wife lost someone who was very important to her, and she wants to name our son in his honor. She's always wanted to call her son by her loved one's middle name. When me and my wife told people our son's name, one of my sisters said we can't use that name and have to pick another. She has a hobby where she snarks on people online. The people aren't famous or well-known like Taylor Swift, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lionel Messi, the Kardashians. The people my sister snarks on might be famous to a small percent of the population, but most people don't know them. One of them is an American family who used to have a TV show because the parents had something like 20 children. Do we know?
Is it what we were just talking about last week? Oh, I was going to say the Partridge Family.
Oh, no.
Is it along the same lines?
No, it's the TLC show 21 Kids and County.
Okay.
21? They got that high?
Yeah. Before they got canceled.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. One of the sons is in jail now for horrific and disgusting crimes. He has the same name as we are giving our son, and according to my sister, we can't use it because of that. It's not like we are naming our son Adolf or something. we are naming him Joshua. It's a completely normal name, and while the family my sister was talking about might be more well known in America, most people here aren't going to know who they are. No one is going to associate our son with him. Unless someone has a completely made up first name, there will definitely be infamous or criminal people with that name. Even my sister's name matches more than one criminal or murderer when I searched, and I told her that. She says that's different. She said she would change it to my wife's She said we should change it to my wife's loved one's first name instead of his middle name, even though my wife doesn't want our son to have all the pressure of everyone associating his name with a dead person. She prefers using the middle name. I told her nicely but firmly that she has no say in what me and my wife name our son. I thought that would be the end of it, but she keeps talking about it with other people. The last straw was when she went to my wife about it. We live a few hours away from my family, and while my sister and my wife get along, they are not close enough that it's appropriate for my sister to start messaging and emailing her about choosing a new name. After I found out she was bothering my wife, I told her in no uncertain terms to drop the subject, and that led to an argument. I haven't told anyone about the argument besides my wife, but just like with the complaint about the baby name, my sister has been telling other people that I yelled at her and made her cry. I'm not asking for opinions on our son's name because that is staying, and no one besides my sister cares or wants us to change it. They are just upset that I raised my voice. That's what this is about. I'm asking if I'm the asshole for arguing with my sister and telling her to drop it. Some people are saying I'm being too hard on her, not for the name thing, but because I should not have yelled. I admit I did raise my voice during our phone call. I tried to be calm, but when she said she had to convince my wife because she can't have her nephew sharing a name with the other guy, I did get angry and did talk louder than normal. At no point did I threaten or call names, but I did raise my voice. I want to know, am I the asshole because my sister has people on her side?
Yeah, I mean...
I'm ready.
Okay.
Cooper's fully ready.
Okay.
I'm so ready for this. Okay, so it was really hard to focus on the main question of, am I the asshole for yelling at her? Because I just wanted to delve into the name whole thing, which I do have some comments on. But to stick to the topic, we're talking about Christ-like behavior before we started this, and to give a direct answer, you should never yell. I don't think there are some moments in life where you have to yell and be assertive in that way, but when you're dealing with loved ones, I don't think there are very many moments like that where you need to yell, to raise your voice. So yes, you should never yell. However, that sounds like a very frustrating situation, and it also sounds like this is a sister who has probably inserted her opinion and her choices into other people's lives before, and so maybe it's one of those kind of hot topic things that they've never addressed, and it just kind of reached its boiling point and came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would say if this is like, it wasn't the first time he's been trying to address it with her, which it sounds like. It was like she's not letting it go. I would yell. I would raise my voice because it's like, you need to take this seriously because you're not, and borderline crazy. Like, that's very toxic kind of personality. And I'm also like, there's things that were mentioned in there of like getting people on her side, and and people are like coming after him and like taking her side on the whole thing, and it's like over a name of what?
Mm-hmm.
A TV show family?
Mm-hmm.
That, and the son, and it's not even, it just is so crazy that it's like there'd be so many names out there that are off limits, and he tried to rationalize with her of like, look, your name, look up your name, you have name of killers in the past, like what is, anyway, just sounds like I would have yelled, and I would have been like, Anne, you need help. Like, this is kind of concerning that you need help.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. For those that don't know, this is the name of the oldest son from 21 Kids Accounting. We mentioned that earlier. I don't know if he's currently in jail, but I know he had charges pressed against him for sexual molestation. I'm pretty sure of his younger sisters, and I don't know if it was just his sisters, but maybe some other girls too, I think. So that's where his name is, Josh Duggar.
Yuck.
Yes, yuck. However, Josh is a very common name. I don't look at every Josh and say, oh my gosh, that's the same name as such and such. So I think she has common name. Second, she has no business in what they name their son. That is not her son. That's not her flesh and blood. Yeah, it's her nephew or whatever, but she has no right in saying what.
I'm just dying because I'm like, and then in the Tongan culture.
That's exactly what I'd be thinking.
But I'm like, she has no right. My cousin named her kid Camilla, which is a totally Hispanic name. She's totally white. Would I have chosen that name? No. Do I like that name? No. But I didn't go to my cousin and say, you can't name your kid that. That's stupid. Because your kid's not Hispanic and blah, 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 and you're not Hispanic. You have no right in what other people name their kids.
That's a Hispanic name?
Camilla?
Yeah, isn't it?
I didn't know that, but the King of England's second wife is named Camilla. She's white.
Okay, well, I might be wrong. But when I hear Camilla, I think Hispanic.
It sounds very
I think so. But also, like, I don't really care for the names because if you, like, someone were getting to know me and I was like, oh, my name's Sione and my dad's name is Sione, they would automatically assume that I'm, like, named after my dad. But his name is Sione Hafoka and mine is Sione Vaca. And my social security number is... No, I'm joking. But anyways, I was actually named after my uncle. So, like, I feel like her reason was stupid to begin with. And I feel like his reaction is valid. And if I were him, I'd be offended for people, like, coming at me. I'm like, look, I was nice. I was nice when this all first started.
Yeah.
She didn't know her boundaries. So, yeah, I went off. But it's a reaction to her actions. It's not like he just went off on her. So.
Yeah.
And I think what also is hard in that situation is, like, do you go into detail with people and, like, give them the full business of, like, this is how long this has been going on? Or would you be like, I don't need to tell these people, like, this is so stupid. Like, I don't need to explain to these people the details of my family drama, just to make them, like, understand. I kind of feel like I would have that kind of, like, I'm not going to tell these people this thing that they don't understand. And, like, this has been going on for 2 years. It started in this, and, like, I've asked her all this stuff, like, because these are probably some random people that maybe aren't even that close to him if they're taking her side. I think it'd be hard, yeah. And frustrating.
Yeah.
The people
and
are taking
that
her
is
side.
so frustrating about these situations of the he said, she said thing. Because once you really hear, I mean, we haven't heard her side, but, you know, once we hear his side, it's clear that he wasn't just yelling at her, like you said, coming out of nowhere. He was in reaction to what she was already doing and judging him for. And I agree. Joshua, I from the beginning of the story, I was like, I gotta hear the name. I gotta hear what this name is gonna be. And I was not expecting a boring ass normal name like that. Like, that's a Bible name, is it
No
not?
offense to all you Joshuas out there.
Yeah, it's a great name, but it's boring. It's basic.
I always thought Joshua was a really hot name.
There's a lot of
it
Joshuas
is.
out there.
Right?
Yeah.
Joshuas were always like a bad boy.
Mm-hmm. Skater.
Hashtag Josh Duggar. But
you just killed it for me.
I know. Yeah. But yeah, it is a very basic name. That's why I'm like, why does she... Her name's probably like Natalie or something. Or whatever.
I would have been disappointed in them, the couple naming the kid, if they had fallen into her trap and actually changed the name. Like, I'm glad they stuck to their guns. I did think that whole conversation of, like, should we switch it from the middle name to the actual first given name of the person we're naming him after? Like, no. But also, their reasoning was kind of dumb, where he was like, because we don't want him having the pressure of living his life after this the namesake that has passed away. It's like, well, don't they already have that because they know who they're named after? So I'm like, that's a stupid reason. Don't try to justify yourself because you're right.
I think with that, it's like other people wouldn't know who he's named after.
Because
it was a middle name of that person.
Yeah, it's not like they took the first name and put it as the middle name. It's whoever passed away, it's their middle name.
Oh, it's subtle.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that too. Like, her loved one passed away. Why can't she honor him? It's totally not right.
Were you getting the vibes or like understanding of like it was a former person that she loved, or as in like a former lover?
Ooh, you're going deep.
Versus a former family member. Maybe it was like a former best friend. Maybe it was like a best friend.
I didn't pick up on those vibes. When I hear loved one, I think of like a close family friend, a best friend, family member.
Okay.
Not like, ex-lover.
Not like lover.
Yeah.
I got controlling vibes.
Controlling?
Yeah, I thought you were saying the sister was upset because it was Joshua was the name of her ex-boyfriend or something, and she was making it about this 21 and counting kid, whatever. Who thinks of that except for, I don't know, I didn't watch that show, but yes, I was getting controlling vibes from the sister, totally.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's a throwaway account. He says at the beginning, like, deleting my account since I've been getting threats.
Threats?
Yes, and harassment from other places on Reddit. It appears my sister has friends, and he lists some subreddits. One of them I don't really know how to say. I think it's Fundy Snark Uncensored, and then the other subreddit is Duggar's Snark. So he said, I've tried reporting to the mods at these places, but they don't care. Since they bully people in the subs, I should not be surprised. I reported this message to Reddit, but I'm tired of the harassment. So that's why it's a throwaway account.
Yeah, Reddit is toxic.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing about Reddit is like that. Like people that, yeah.
What is there to harass? He's so clearly not the asshole,
Yes.
right? We all agree?
I don't think he is.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. But someone does top comment, I'm in America and I didn't immediately associate Joshua with the pedo guy. I like that name, not the asshole for telling her she has lost her damn mind and to mind her own business. To be petty, Google famous Joshuas and send her a list of all the positive people associated with that name.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good way to approach it, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Smart.
So, yeah, I don't think he's the asshole at all.
Hell no. She's great.
Yeah. Okay, ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no time.
Again, from the Too Hot Take subreddit. So, this is a personal write-in. So, it's from Pluto Devotee with 3 E's 2 days ago. Am I the asshole for refusing to attend my university's consent course after I failed? Right?
Yikes.
Yeah. Okay, so please read before you judge. This is such an odd situation. My 20 female university released a mandatory consent course with a quiz at the end. You need 100% to pass. If you fail, you have to attend an in-person consent course with other students who failed. I got 90% because of one question.
How is that a fail? 90%?
You have to get 100%. It's all or nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I missed that.
So here's the question. Miriam is making out with Jared in her dorm room. She wants to go further and take his top off. What should Miriam say to get consent? A. Can I take your top off? Sorry. This is so funny.
I think I need you to read the question one more time.
That a college has this.
Yeah, this is insane. Okay.
So, ready for the question? Okay. Miriam is making out with Jared in her dorm room. She wants to go further and take his top off. What should Miriam say to get consent? Can I take your top off? B, am I okay to remove your top? C, take your top off? Or D, don't ask, just do it. So, before I get into the answer, what do you think is the answer?
What was B?
Am I okay to remove your top?
I would say B.
B?
We're supposed to pick the right answer?
Yeah.
Can I go last?
So A was, can I take your top off?
Yes.
And B was, am I okay to take your top off?
Am I okay to remove your top?
Oh, am I okay to remove your top? Yeah, I feel like you're asking the same thing between A and B. So it's like 50-50.
That's why I wanted to go last, because I'm like, A and B are both correct in my opinion. You're asking for consent. It's just a different way to word it.
Yeah.
And honestly, sorry, but C is also correct in my mind, because C was take your top off, because he can still say no and not do it, and then that's how you know they're not consenting. But it's also not this awkward way that people have made consent. I might be out of the
okay, hold on.
Okay,
We'll
yeah,
get
I'm
into
going
it.
too far.
Take your top off?
Take your top off.
Telling them to.
Take your top off.
Oh, to tell him take
Yes.
your top off.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it? Okay. So ready? I picked A and B. In my mind, they're basically the same thing. But according to the quiz, A is too demanding. So I failed the test and got an email stating I had to attend the in-person consent course. I emailed back and said I wasn't attending. I explained my issue with the reasoning on why my answer was wrong, and I found out through a message board that this question is the reason at least 16 other people failed the test. This was the only question they failed. The university...
It's like Nonay said, it's a 50-50 chance of being right or wrong.
Mm-hmm. The university emailed back and said that if I didn't go, I couldn't attend certain events and when the bouncers at the university's club...
I remember saying that.
He made a face at the camera and it was like...
Alright, sorry, I wasn't taking notes on who said what.
So for those listening, that was actually Sean, 50-50.
Yeah.
So if I didn't go to the class, I couldn't attend certain events, and when the bouncer at the university's club scanned my student ID, it would flag that I failed the course. If I'm being honest, I was frustrated by this, but I ultimately didn't care as I don't go to the nightclub or attend sports events. Ultimately, I know I failed because my stupid ND brain... What is that? ND?
ND?
Like capital N, capital D.
Capital M, capital D.
Capital N.
N.
D. It's my stupid ND brain.
No, don't know.
Dyslexic? Not. I don't know.
No idea.
Brain can't compute certain tone indicators through text, and also the uni decided to flag a fairly inconspicuous phrase. I brought it up to my flatmates and friends who are split. Some agreed that the answering was weirdly worded on the uni's part, and that I shouldn't have to go on a 6-week course. The other half think that it was an obvious answer, and that me being so adamant to not go is weird. Am I the asshole for causing a fuss and not going? When I read this, I was laughing because I was like, I was with Sean, 50-50. Those two, A and B, are the same question to me. And the fact that A is demanding, no.
You know, so when I was, obviously I didn't pick one, but I was like thinking the second one is pretty long and it's like more detailed of a question that I'm like, you know, in the age that we're living in right now. Yeah, it's just...
I was gonna say the reason why I picked B is because, I mean, you know how like teachers like, oh, can I go to the bathroom? And she's like, I don't know, can you? So like I feel like that could be a different. That could what makes the difference between the two answers. Because then you'll be like, may I go to the bathroom? And then so I feel like you get a definite yes or no with may I.
You should have been a lawyer.
It was my second choice.
Was it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was going for supermodel.
Oh, I would cry if I was
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just, I don't know. Both come, like I don't know. It just is hard because it's like dumb that you had to, and 16 other people failed. Mm-hmm. Like, you had to get 100%.
Only question they all failed.
Yeah.
The only reason why I say, yeah, he is being an asshole is because he knew what he was, like, that everybody had to have 100%, right? Like, before he even took the test. Like, he knew the repercussions. So, like...
First, it's a girl.
Oh, is it a girl? Oh,
yeah,
my bad.
It's a girl.
Yeah.
I assumed it was a guy from the title, which shows how sexist I am.
Me too.
They didn't give it away when I said my 20 female?
No, once you said that, but the title about consenting and I already failed or whatever. I was like, that's probably a guy.
But, yeah, it's a mandatory, every student has to take it.
Mm-hmm.
So I see what you're saying, but if when I think about a test, if a teacher gives out a test and all the kids failed for the same reason, this one answer, I feel like that's more on the test questions and the teacher than it is on the students. And the teacher either needs to redo that question or teach the students better.
Which I agree. Like, I'm 100%, like, I would be irritated too if I was this girl. But the thing is, if I was signing up for something and I was like, I knew this is what I have to do, then, or this is what's going to happen.
So I don't think, she's not mad because she's like, she is mad, but if they don't pass the course, they don't get to attend other events. She doesn't care about attending the events. She just doesn't want to attend the course, which I agree. Because I'm like, 6 weeks for one question that 60 other people got wrong, I would be pissed too. I'm not dominating enough to say that, so I would probably comply. But I'm with her. I agree. I think it's ridiculous.
Oh, I'd be so pissed.
And it's every student has to do this, right?
Every student. Yeah.
So I think that's where it's like, the choice you're talking about that she had was, do you go to this school or not? Because every student has to go through this thing and take this test. It's not an elective thing for a student.
That makes more sense, yeah.
Going back to what I was saying about the options A, B, C, D, I feel like there's only one wrong answer, and it's clear what the wrong answer is, which is, what was it, just doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Wrong. The other three are appropriate, are fine, and offer an opportunity for a person to give consent or not. And that would hold up in court. And so it's stupid that...
He's a lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer. But I did have the opportunity to serve on a jury last year in a sexual assault case. And I know that they wouldn't have an argument if one of those other three options would have been used.
Coming in with the facts.
Right.
As per usual. But what really bugs me about this, I wouldn't comply if I was a student there. Because I'm a hellraiser for, well, when I want to. When I care enough. But I would care about this situation.
He was Christ-like.
Hey, I can be a hellraiser and still... Christ is he's turning over tables.
That's true.
He's not always this happy-go-lucky guy.
That is true.
He's got an angry side.
You don't take it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put up with it. But yeah, I'm just mad because it feels like Big Brother indoctrination. You didn't answer the question the way that we wanted you to, and now you're gonna be punished with a 6-week course. That's ridiculous. I could understand one course, like one night for an hour coming in to understand why the question is worded that way. But 6 weeks, that's ridiculous. Secondly, for me, if it was my situation, I'd be like, this shows me enough about this school and the fact that they're going to flag me and mark me as basically dangerous so that I can't come to events anymore. I would transfer. That would be it for me.
Yeah.
That would turn me off to the school too.
Yeah.
Of like, and not that it's just the level they took it to.
But, like, what are you going to teach in 6 weeks? Like, I feel like, yeah, I agree with you. 1 hour course. I get that. Maybe I could see, like, a week long. But 6 weeks? I don't think there's that much to consent. I mean, yes, it's very important. You should never do anything if someone doesn't give consent. But, like, 6 weeks worth. I don't know how you teach that.
Maybe 6 weeks for someone that got every question wrong.
Yes. Because then they obviously don't understand consent at all. But that's what I'm saying. Look at the question and how they all got the same answer wrong and realize, oh, it's our fault for wording it that way.
And that was the only answer they all got wrong.
Yeah. All 16 is the only...
Because it's a trick question.
Yeah.
That's a trick question.
I say she is not the asshole and she should transfer those records. Does she drop the name of the school?
No, she does not.
Dang.
She does not. But, I mean, she says uni, so it's not in the States. Because we don't call... Well, unless she transferred to the States.
But in Australia, I think they call high school uni.
Oh. Well, she's 20.
I'm a fake Bitz. Keep me honest.
I don't know. She calls it university, and then somewhere she calls it uni. So, I don't know where she's from.
Uni.
Yeah.
No?
That doesn't sound like an
Any other thoughts?
United States thing.
It doesn't.
Sounds like woke America.
But did she say uni somewhere? I feel like she did. That's why I'm picking up on it. I can't find it. But.
I never thought of uni as international lingo. I thought of it as just abbreviation of university.
Oh.
But that's just me.
Oh, yeah. So she said, was weirdly worded on the unis part. I don't call my university uni. I say my
the
college.
The hellhole that gave me a degree.
Yeah, my blood, sweat, and tears. That didn't even do me any good.
Yet. Maybe it will.
Yeah. Alright. Noni, did you have anything more to say?
No, I still feel the same.
That's okay. Top comment. It's not your brain. That question and its A and B answers are both valid. Questions and answers like these are way too subjective, and people who put them together lack common sense. I'm at least twice your age, female, and a college-educated person. They need to fix this one. A 6-week course is insane. And I agree. Yeah.
It is insane, but like, I mean, don't you think, like, it's good that they're trying to enforce consent?
Oh, yeah. And especially at this age,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good to bring up the conversation of consent. But I think where I'm coming from is, yes, teach consent, but 16 people got the same question wrong by selecting the same wrong answer. So there's something wrong with that question. I would be mad to have to take a 6-week course because A and B sound so similar, and actually both are very polite, I feel like. So I don't think it's right for the university to have a 6-week course on these people.
To your point, the purpose of this whole test is to educate students about consent and make sure that everybody understands how important this is. And you know
I was just going to say, too, like, I feel like the world that we live in, I feel like they have to comply by something. So they're not doing it out of the kindness of their hearts. They're doing it because the university has to comply with some kind of rule or regulation or something to get funding or something like that.
Possibly. Yeah. What? You have something there?
Yeah, someone commented, just backing up what I just said, just saying almost all training is a legal compliance box ticking exercise.
Mm.
Nobody cares if you're properly trained. They care that they're not liable.
If she had got other questions wrong, if she had answered this question with C or D, take your top off, which still I'm like, this is my choice about me. I'm not taking yours off. I'm just taking mine off. And if you follow suit, you're making that choice. But ultimately D of just like, or take your top off. Is that what it was? The last one?
I think it's that the person was asking, like kind of commanding.
Oh, just do it.
The person, take your top off. Yeah, not asking, can I?
C was take your top off. D was don't ask, just do it.
Just do it. Don't ask. So if she had answered one of those, yeah, like questioning your consent knowledge. But because she answered A, which is still asking the person, is this okay? It just, it's like, seems like a trick or like not a very good setup question, and it set up a lot of people to fail because they kind of are, it's like it's a toss up.
I agree.
And so it is it's over the top punishment for something that was just like, I know consent. I didn't say just do it.
Mm.
You know, I didn't get to one other question wrong. So it's just like weird. Not weird, but like, because consent is important, yes. And you don't take advantage of people, but it's just weird that, like, can I take your top off is considered wrong now.
And too demanding.
Yeah, too demanding. Because that's like, yeah, can I take your top off? Is like, I would have said that. Because that's how people talk. It's kind of like at work, we've been asked not to say you guys on meetings. And in meetings, like, just don't say you guys. And like, it's really hard. We were just talking about it recently or today, in fact, because it's hard to not say you guys because it's part of language. Meaning, Spanish, if you talk about a group of people and there's even one male in that group, it's automatically the masculine version of the Spanish word. And so, and that's not just Spanish. There's so many languages out there that are like that. And I don't know.
I feel like English defaults to the masculine too.
Yeah, it just follows all the other languages. And it's hard for people to not say you guys. Right? It's hard for me to be like, you guys, don't
because
do that.
Because we were raised where you guys isn't... when I say you guys, I don't think I'm talking to a bunch of guys.
Yeah. Because
all of my friends growing up have been girls. And I always said you guys. And none of them ever got offended. And so I think if there's a person who... That's a problem with offense in today's society, is it's like, if you're going to find offense in something, you need to figure out how to deal with that situation and communicate your feelings and make sure you're understood and heard. But it doesn't mean that the rest of the society needs to conform to make you feel better about yourself. You guys is just a colloquial statement that's been around for at least 3 decades, and at least probably a lot more than that. And it's just interesting that we're pulling at that thread now, because it is very difficult to get out of that habit of saying something that we've innocently said our entire lives.
And again, we don't mean literal guys. And that's the thing, is back to your offense point, is you may get offended. That person, like, I think intention is important. Intention of, I meant to hurt you, I meant to offend you. That's different than, I just am saying the thing that everyone in everyone's lives has said. Like... Mm-hmm.
I get so nervous at work now because when I talk to my clients and they're talking about an employee, and I'll talk to them and be like, so what was her name? And then I'll catch myself be like, or him, or they, whatever they want me. I'm so scared that someone's going to take offense to me saying the wrong pronoun.
Yeah.
And it's scary nowadays.
Yeah.
It is, because I think we're all good people and we want to respect somebody. And even though we all use cis pronouns that we've been given, I sometimes like to refer to my guy friends as girls just for the fun of it. But I would never purposefully say somebody's pronoun wrong. And if I did, I wouldn't want them to feel offended. I'd want them to hopefully kindly correct me, and I would do better next time. It is a difficult shift to make when you're looking at somebody who appears to be a male, but like Sean said, it's the intention behind what we're doing that I hope people will start to focus on more rather than jumping to the offensive.
Yeah, I agree.
Hot topic
for
that's
sure.
What I love about these, and that's what I love about Two Hot Takes podcast, is that it just gets conversation, and I like that we don't all agree too. Like, I think it's fun to have these differing views and opinions and kind of leave off on, well, you feel that way, I feel this way, let's move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I like it. Sometimes I'm like yelling at them they can't hear me because it's recorded like weeks out, but I'm like, no, this person is the asshole when they're saying they're not the asshole. So it's fun. Everybody loves giving their opinion. So I think this is a very healthy way to do it. It's my opinion. Okay, ready? So going away from the Two Hot Takes podcast or subreddit, we're now on the Am I the Asshole subreddit. This was posted 3 days ago by Unlikely Visitor. Title is, Am I the Asshole for refusing to pay my mother-in-law. Okay? I, female 31, gave birth to my beautiful son a week ago. Unfortunately, there were some complications, so I was only released yesterday. But I am so grateful to be home with our baby boy. When my waters initially broke, my husband, male 33, and I were at home, and I happened to be standing on my bedroom carpet. Cleaning was obviously not the priority, so I threw my towels down and we left for the hospital. During the time we were in the hospital, my mother-in-law, female 59, kindly offered to feed our dogs for us, and we were very appreciative of her help. It was only once we got home yesterday that I saw my mother-in-law had left a receipt and note stuck to the fridge saying that she had cleaned my bedroom carpet and wanted to be reimbursed. She had also taken it upon herself to clean the rest of the house while she was at it, and all in all, with like a day's pay of $25 an hour plus $200 worth of product. Now, while it was nice of her to clean my carpet and then the rest of my house, neither of us asked her to do this. My husband wrote her the following text. Hello, Mom. We really appreciate your help over the last few days while my name was in the hospital. It was great having someone over to look after the dogs. We noticed your note and receipt on the fridge and are a little upset. You took it upon yourself to, 1, snoop through our house, as neither of us had told you about my name's water breaking in the bedroom. 2, go out and buy hundreds of dollars worth of cleaning products. And then 3, charging us for your time and the aforementioned products. We would also like to ask where these cleaning products are, as if we are paying for them. We would certainly like to get our money's worth. When we entrusted you with the dogs, we really thought you were helping us out of the goodness of your heart and not giving you an opportunity to make a quick buck. We are family and are hurt you would do something like this while my name was so unwell. My mother-in-law immediately responded to my husband saying that she did what she did out of the kindness of her heart, and she cannot believe we would be so ungrateful. I have also received some texts from extended family members saying that mother-in-law didn't have to help me, but did despite her advanced age out of love. I have had to turn off my phone so that I don't have to deal with all of the texts, but my husband is still getting a lot of hate from his family because we are manipulating the situation and making mother-in-law the bad guy when she was only trying to get the house ready for the baby. I'm quite upset by the whole thing, but my husband is now saying that maybe we should pay to get the extended family off our back and just enjoy this time as new parents, rather than dealing with all this. I'm not okay with paying his mom for anything. She sent another text to my husband earlier saying that she would be happy to gift us the products, i.e. take it off our bill, but she would still like to be paid for her time given that she dealt with a biohazard. That's it.
I don't think she's the asshole or they're the asshole. I think the mother-in-law just shouldn't have done it all. So.
I think the mother-in-law is the asshole. For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Your child, I mean, yes, it's her mother-in-law, but it's her son too. Like, they're having a baby, there's complications, so they're in the hospital. And you have the audacity to go over there and charge $25 an hour plus your products?
$200?
Yes. For saying, you know, I did this out of the goodness of my heart? No. Anybody that does things, this reminds me of the episode of Friends with Phoebe and Joey where they're like, are you doing something out of the kindness of your heart? Does it make you feel good? Like, charitable acts aren't, you don't get reimbursed for that. You're doing something nice, you don't ask for anything in return. This story made me really mad when I read it. So.
Yeah, me too, actually. I was like, the balls on this mother-in-law. And then the extended family for being like, in her old age. She's 59.
Yeah.
That's not old age. She's
older.
I understand she's older, yes. But anyway, yeah, I just, it sounds like this is like, I don't believe that this is an isolated incident. And it kind of sounds like this mother-in-law is a penny grabber and also very controlling to, yes, invade their space. And then, I don't know what kind of product she's buying to clean the carpet. I don't know if she rented a carpet cleaner, but if she didn't, I would be a little bit bothered because I'd be like, I now feel like I have to clean it because I don't know what you did. and I don't really trust it. So I'm going to have to do it all over anyway. But yeah, come back to me because I have a whole solution of what I would do. Sean, what do you think?
She's crazy. And that it's just like everything that Blakely said, you don't do those kind of like acts and expect things in return, or like kind of keep score of like, oh, well, they're going to owe me now in the future, or remember when I did that. Like, that's not it. Like, they didn't even ask her. And it started off with, she offered to feed the dogs. So you offered that, and then you went and did all this other stuff, snooping around, like everything. It's just, and how they said manipulative, how like the extended family are calling them manipulative of the situation. Mm-hmm. I'm like, the mother-in-law is manipulating y'all. Like, the whole thing, it's her. And that's sad to get the family hate thing when it's such a frustrating situation. And like how he's like, do we just pay her so we can like get and I go, hell no, we're not paying. And yeah, what cleaning products? And the $25 an hour. The whole thing is just ridiculous. It's like,
that's what blows my mind.
Yeah.
I love how we keep coming back to these cleaning products, because I go to Walmart and my cleaning products are like $7 and they were great. So I don't know what $200 is.
Maybe renting a carpet cleaner.
But here's my thing. I'm not a baby expert, whatever, and I know that when your water breaks, it's like amniotic fluid. But I don't think it would be $200 worth. Water breaks all day, every day for moms, and I've never heard of anything like that.
I've never
being
heard
so gross, biohazard.
Yeah, I've never heard it referred to as a biohazard. I realize that it's bodily fluids.
Yeah.
But still, I'm like, if it were my house, I probably would have rented a carpet cleaner or something and done some stuff to it. But yeah, this is all wild.
Honestly, that would be the last thing on my mind if I just had a baby. So, like, I would just be like, what is your point in sending me this? Like, yeah, and I just feel like the grandma, is it?
It's the grandma, the mother-in-law.
She's manipulative and manipulating everybody in the family, so.
And two, as like new parents that just went through they said it was complications with the birth, so like probably a really scary moment. I would be more focused on, so not only did my hospital give me a bill, but my mother gave me a bill too, like.
Good point.
Yeah. And I just went through this trauma.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, 100% manipulative, because at the end of the thing, the very last thing is, after they're calling her out, she comes back with a manipulative statement of the biohazard thing, which is like, so you're going to use that now, and you're, as if this was such a dangerous situation for you to go and clean this to biohazard. You made that choice. Not only did you get nosy, snoop around the house, do all these things after offering to feed the dogs, completely different, and then you're like, I made this decision to go and put myself at risk with this biohazard. She's totally manipulative.
Yeah, if I were them, first of all, I probably wouldn't have texted her at all. I would have thrown the receipt away and been like, what receipt? We never got it. Explain to my face why you think you needed to pay you $300 for your time and products. But since they already sent the text, what I would do if I were them, I would ask for all the products back, because, yeah, we're going to get our money's worth of that $200, whatever it is. And I would also just I would probably pay her, honestly, because I think the whole extended family drama isn't worth it. And so I would just be like, you know what, we're going to write this one off this time, and we're going to know that she's actually not welcome in our house. Definitely when we're not here, but maybe not even if we're here. Because this is pretty despicable behavior for a family member to do to us when we have a brand new child to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you have to defend something so stupid in front of your family and they believe it, then I'd be like, okay, you can go with her.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I just don't feel like people need to explain themselves to everybody or like try having everybody stay in their lives. So
my problem with arguments or fights is like when you drag people that don't need to be there. A fight is between, or an argument, discussion is between A, B, maybe C, but like it really needs to be hashed and dealt between the parties that are involved. When you start bringing other people in, it just gets too nasty, and these other people have no business being in there anyways. So it just creates more drama.
And it goes back to the he said, she said thing of people taking opinions when it's like no other opinion matters other than A and B. Mm-hmm. I agree. And I wish I could do what you're suggesting. Like, my way is like, I want to take the path of least resistance. I don't want people to hate me and I don't want to cause drama and stuff. So I'm going to just like put out the fires as best I can and move on and learn from the situation. But I wish I could be the type of person that's like, I'm going to live my life. I know what's right. I know who I am. I'm moving on.
I feel like one day you're going to snap. Like, you're just like, okay, fuck this shit. I'm not paying nobody. Let these fires burn. But I'm glad you're not there. You're doing the mature thing, honestly.
I don't know. Like, I think your way is really mature, too. And honestly, I hope I do snap one day because I think that's a much more free way of living. You know? What?
I don't want to see you snap.
I mean, I don't want to snap in a bad way and that I hurt someone or anything, but just that I realize that I don't need to be putting out the fires and making sure that
like it's not your responsibility.
I didn't start the fire, and it's not my fault, and I don't need to be judged for it.
He didn't start the fire.
Yeah, let's throw back.
Yeah, I think though too. That's my anxiety is I gotta put the fire out everywhere because I don't want these people to hate me. I don't want my name to be tarnished. I don't want this. I don't want that.
And with these kind of
Let
things,
them.
I know. It's hard.
It's definitely hard. And with family, it's like you're gonna have situations where you're back with them. Either you can ostracize yourself and like disown your family, but like one day you're gonna be back with them, and this is gonna follow you. I feel like, so that's why my first instinct is to be like damage control and move forward.
But also, you like I feel like that shows like how caring you are about other people's feeling, and I feel like that's what really like gets. I feel like when people, like, that's how people get manipulated, I feel like. Because, like, here you are willing to pay even though you don't deserve it, but she got you to pay it.
Yes, no, nay. You're right. You just, like, defined me. And, yeah.
And bitchy.
I have been seen. Yeah.
Hell no to paying, and I would cut them out, too. I'd be like, you're just as crazy to believe her. Mm-hmm. And honestly, it would make me like there's got to be more family history stuff there. If I don't know, maybe not. I feel like I'm reading too deep into it there. Like, oh, now I know their whole family life story, but it's like for them to side with her over something that is this ridiculous. Because I'm like, calculate that out. How many hours did she say? Did they say how many hours? Just 25 an hour.
Yeah, she just said 25.
Plus 200.
She's like, if I take half my age. But also, I just want to say, like, the reason why I feel like I can do it is because I've experienced something similar like that. If I didn't have experience, that's exactly how I was. Like, just trying to put fire, like, out everywhere. So I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. But I also feel like it's almost like there's no right answer. You really just have to do what's best for you and the situation. Was this am I the asshole situation question?
Am I the asshole for refusing to pay my mother-in-law?
They're not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
No, absolutely not. Okay, I'm going to simmer down just a little bit from this one. Next one is posted by, I don't know how to say it, PA Baby 17 on the AITAH subreddit, which is Am I the Asshole? So she says, am I the asshole for getting mad at my sister for moving her wedding date? Had to throw a wedding one in there because I love weddings. Both my sister and my BFF are getting married next year. Me and my sister both live in the U.S. and my BFF lives in the Philippines. They both plan to have their wedding on October 5th, 2024. So I told them both about it. This was back in June. As it was my sister's wedding, I told my BFF that as much as I would like to go to her wedding, I have to choose my sister's wedding over hers, and jokingly said that I can attend if she moved her wedding to a different date. She understood and said that I really have to go to her wedding, to her sister's wedding. She said that she will move the date of her wedding so that I could attend hers as well. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Like, really generous.
The BFF moved her date.
The BFF moved the date so that she could go to her sister's wedding. Fast forward a couple weeks, and she said that her new wedding date would be on... Oh, so this is the sister now. Would be on... Nope, sorry. BFF. Fast forward a couple weeks, and she said that her new wedding date would be on October 19th, 2024. I thanked her and was touched that she moved dates just so I could attend her wedding. I told my sister about it. For the past couple of months, I've been telling my family that I'm attending 2 weddings next year, both in October and in different countries. My sister has yet to book a venue until last night, when she said that her new wedding date is on October 18th, 2024. At first, I didn't pay much attention because I forgot my BFF's wedding, when my BFF's wedding is. I only checked this morning, and that's when I realized. I was dropping off my sister to work and told her that her new date is the same as my BFF's wedding date. October 18th in the U.S. is October 19th in the Philippines. She said she didn't know when my BFF's wedding was. I told her that if she forgot, she could have asked me about it before booking her new wedding date, as I already told her that they both have October weddings. I asked if, since my BFF already rescheduled, that if she could reschedule it, but she said that it was already booked and this was the only date available in October. I got really mad that she didn't even look into considering my situation. I even avoided the first issue by having a friend change her date. Now, I can only go to one wedding. Of course, I will choose to go to my sister's. I just feel bad that I went through all this effort with my friend and not be able to attend her wedding after all. Am I the asshole? Also, is there any advice you guys can give me? I already checked the flights and there's no way I could get to both flights in 18 hours.
So did this person say what their choice is going to be? They're going to go to the sister's wedding.
Yeah, they said, of course, I have to attend my sister's wedding.
The am I the asshole question was...
Am I the asshole at getting mad at my sister?
Oh, okay.
For changing her wedding date. Oh. Go.
I don't think she's the asshole. Because here's the thing. The sister knew... And there's no excuse for the sister to be like, oh my gosh, it's so like, you know, it's a lot. I had a lot on my mind. It's planning my wedding. First, it's a year away. There's people out here planning weddings for like 2 months from now. And second, it's such an important date. If it's so important for you, you would have considered your sister's situation because you knew about that at least. Maybe you forgot that she's like, oh, she moved it, but you would have at least remembered, let me double check, you know, because I know this is at least going on in the same month. So I feel like the sister is definitely the asshole for doing all of that, because it's like, that's super sad. And honestly, I would be like, I don't know, I feel like it would be hard, but I'm over here like, and I would go to the best friend's wedding. I wouldn't go to my sister's wedding. But.
So, I agree with you, but I want to poke one hole in this. Is venues, people are attached to certain places and they want to get married at certain places and things are booked. And so, do we fault her for saying that this is the only date available for this venue?
Yeah, because, well, no. Gosh, because it's okay. This is the thing, is that would be assuming that was the only date that they had
We don't know if there's other dates.
And even a week later, because then it could have been like, you still could have had an October wedding, and you still, you know, you could have been like, hey, when did things happen again? What happened there? Oh, okay. They have that available, but they have the next week. So I'll just push mine a week because, I don't know. It just seems like a shitty situation for this girl. And she was so excited to be able to make her best friend's wedding, go to a different country. Yeah.
I feel sad that she says that of course I have to choose my sister's wedding, which I'm like, it just makes me sad because I'm like, the sister had no consideration for you, yet you're still going to consider the sister. And I feel like we feel so pressured. I feel it, that it's our family. We have to do everything with our family, and families first. But it's like the saying that blood is thicker than water, we've actually construed that over the years. And I don't know the real saying. It's some proverb in the Bible, but it's like the blood of the womb is something water. I can look it up. But
the water of the womb is...
No, the blood of the covenant.
Yes.
Is thicker than the water of the womb.
Yes, blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Meaning,
the blood of promises and relationships is thicker than, or stronger than,
some familial
blood. Yeah, blood ties.
Come through, Sean.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
I wrote it.
Yeah, I actually learned that in one of my therapy sessions. So it's like, through the years, we have construed that saying that blood is thicker than water. So you have, your family, your blood, that's it. Like, you have to do everything by them. They are your family. They're who you've grown up with. And so you do have different connection with them. But I feel sad for her that she feels like she has to choose her sister who had no consideration for her.
And I think that's why I immediately jumped to, I wouldn't go to the sisters and I'd go to the friends, because in the situation and the dilemma, the friend was like, let me move mine.
Yeah.
And the sister didn't consider her. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In this situation, and I would probably get a lot of crap from my family, but I would go to the best friend's wedding.
Oh, I would definitely go to my best friend's wedding.
In the Philippines!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But I would go... Because I see it, like, the sister, she was just, like, really excited for herself, so she, like, didn't care. And she has every right to, like, schedule the date whenever. But I would just be like, my best friend moved her wedding date for me, so I already made other obligations to that.
Yes.
Sorry, sis. But, yeah, like, I would definitely go to the best friend's wedding, and the sister is the asshole.
Yes, she is.
I agree. I think the only thing I could add is that going back to the beginning when the two dates were on the same date, it's still a year out. And I would have just double checked with all parties. Like, is it for sure that that's when it's set? Because the sister didn't even have the venue at that time, obviously. Mm-hmm. And now she's made the venue later because she had to make it for that date. And it's like, well, then why did I go make a big deal with my BFF when my sister's thing wasn't even set in stone? Mm-hmm. And I agree with you guys. The fact that the best friend changed her date for this person, I definitely would have been like, oh, that's a huge sacrifice. I'm going to go to that wedding, and sorry, sis. Like, these I'm assuming this is a girl, the poster?
It doesn't say.
Oh, well, this person and her sister, their sister, are obviously very close because she's driving her to work. They must live together or see each other every day to be their carpool to work. This could have been talked about many times before she actually put any kind of money down on a venue or anything.
And which I think she mentions, like, they talked about it. She went from, I have this dilemma of, two weddings at the same time, and I'm sure she talked about that, mm-hmm. to, I'm so excited, now I get to go to both, which she mentions. And then it's like, hello, I've been talking about this and you didn't even have the consideration to just, like, ask, remind me again?
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. She's like, for the past couple months, I've been telling my family that I'm attending 2 weddings in 2 different countries. So she's obviously, like, super excited about it. It's not something that, I don't think it's something that naturally gets brought up in conversation, but if someone's asking, like, any travel plans, she's definitely bringing this up. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, did the sister know, and did the sister manipulate the situation? But that's me just looking for drama.
But I think wedding culture, I don't know about in the Philippines, and I don't know if they're in the U.S. Well, yeah, they're in the U.S. We both live in the U.S. So is bride gets whatever she wants, and no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, it's her day, her whatever, so whatever she says goes. Yes, it is her day, but I'm like, this is your sister. Be considerate of her, too. You can't just overpower. Do you not want your sister at your wedding? I mean, this girl is very nice in choosing her sister, but I don't think a lot of people would. I think it would be 50-50. Well,
tell us in the comments.
Who would you choose?
But true, I mean, all of us, 100%, said best friend's wedding. So, maybe not.
I'm going international, bye-bye.
Yeah. Okay.
But also,
Oh.
I feel like I would just have a better time with my best friends than like. I'm like, oh shit! I don't have to act up in front of my family. You know?
And it's the Philippines. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lady boys.
Let's go to the beach.
Let's go to the beach. Okay. Are we ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is again from AITAH subreddit from complete-talk-8599. Am I the asshole for walking to avoid filling up my date's tank? I, female 29, have been seeing Clyde, male 35. I've been paying for my half of everything consistently and don't consider it a problem. Also, I've paid for him when it's my idea. We both have jobs and don't do expensive outings. I've been noticing a pattern in which he has become extremely comfortable with me covering for him, even when the outing is his idea. It's come to a point where he doesn't even draw his wallet. This has been happening for weeks. The outing before our latest made me uncomfortable beyond doubt. He'd been telling me that he couldn't find his wallet, but was surprisingly relaxed. I'd be freaking out. We went to grab a bite and he ordered a bit of the more costly stuff. I got the ticket and it was way over my budget. I asked him to pitch in with his Cash App and he refused because his phone died. I didn't want to create an issue, so I let it go. Last weekend we went to eat and I asked for separate checks in advance. He looked angry and from then on I was the butt of his jokes. He was passive aggressive and the jokes were unrelated to the dinner bill. I was hurt because he said things about my weight. He stopped at a gas station on our way to him dropping me off. He asked me for gas money, to which I refused. His tank was half full and I was already 3 minutes away from home. I don't see why I need to fill his tank since we wouldn't be seeing each other for a few more days. He got angry, took a detour, and had me listening to his rant for about 10 minutes. He called me stingy, frugal princess, and weak. I got out of his car at a red light and walked home for about 25 minutes, refusing to take his calls. He was waiting for me at the parking lot, but I said I wasn't interested in entertaining him and that I expected him to pay me back the $70 he owes me from when he lost his wallet. His best friend, who knows me, has been spamming my phone. He says I overreacted and made Clyde feel horrible and inadequate. Am I the asshole?
Honey, you better know while you're writing this, you are not the asshole, my girl. Like, come on. You know that you deserve better than this guy. He is trash. From day one. Trash. Like, this is sad to me that she's actually thinking that she could possibly be the asshole.
Yeah.
Have some respect for yourself, girl. I don't see his side at all.
Yeah, I don't either. And then the best friend. I'm also like, are these like...
I'm sorry, but if you and Cooper were still, like, dating new, and he told me something, I would never blow up your phone.
Yeah.
I think that is so weird.
How long have they been dating?
It doesn't say. They've been seeing each other a couple times.
Yeah, I would just cut it.
Yeah.
Those are honestly, red flags.
Yeah, the red flags started coming in like the first time. The second time it was like, oh, now I'm paying for everything here. You know, when it's you offering or coming up with the date or whatever it was. Oh, when it's his idea. And he's having her pay for the full thing. And I am, honestly, I'm very pay for other people. And so the whole thing of like in my opinion, he should have been paying for her from the beginning. That's me and like how I am with dating. But splitting, cool, that's their thing. But for him to like, I don't know, it just so manipulative, and the whole like driving far away from her house, or like to go on a rant, and it's like, okay, you're so concerned about gas, but you're over here burning it to yell at me and take me further from my house, and then you still drove to my house and waited in my parking lot.
The problem that I have, I mean, all of it is the problem, but it made me really mad when he refused to get out his Cash App. Like, that's the world we live in.
Yeah.
I'm constantly Venmoing people. People are Venmoing me. Like, that he refused to do that because his phone died. Okay, yeah, your phone died, but go home, get it on 1%, and send me the freaking money. It's not that hard.
It doesn't have to be this hour.
No.
The next time your phone's not open.
But he'd be the type of person that'd be like, oh, I forgot. I would be the person that would send him the request, and then the option on Venmo that says remind. I would be like, remind.
Every day. 24 hours. Bam.
Yeah, no, I'm similar to Sean, because I feel like, I mean, I just grew up, like, always paying, like, oh, like, you have guests from out of town, oh, okay, we're going to take you out, or if you're out with a friend, oh, I got you, girl, you know, it's always like, so one, I just don't understand, like, how he got comfortable, like, letting her pay, and then two, I feel like he's definitely the asshole, but she should have set up boundaries, like, as soon as it started.
Yeah.
Because then she wouldn't be in that predicament. But I can't blame her, because, like, people who have good hearts, like, they try doing stuff and then they, like, get taken advantage of. So I feel like maybe I see her side, but also boundaries are important.
Hopefully she learns that from this experience, to set those boundaries from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Know her worth. Mm-hmm. Just wish I could hold her and be like, girl, you're worth so much more.
From the best friend coming from the side out of nowhere with like, okay, y'all are crazy.
So
and block.
What was that? I must have missed that part.
It was very small. It's just like his best friend, who also knows her, was spamming her phone.
Saying he's a good guy.
Yeah,
you should
that
give
she
him another
overreacted.
Chance.
I would have been in the, like, him going off on her, you know, in the car. Mm-hmm. I would have been like, get your phone out. Push the power button in front of me right now. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, take this USB cord right here in your car, plug it in. But also I was going to say something when you were talking, your first point, it's also like kind of talking culture-ish of like, if you offer, you're paying. If it's your idea, you pay for everyone. So it's like, at least with my family, it's like, they're like, if I called up my cousins and said, hey, you guys want to go eat? Or my brothers, you guys want to go eat? Because it's automatically, I'm offering to take you to eat and pay for you to eat.
Same. Yeah. And I get that. Like, there's definitely cultural things, you know, if you offer, you're taking. Cooper and I have this thing, like, whenever we're hanging out, we don't keep track of money. It's, okay, Cooper paid for dinner last time, so now it's my turn. Or vice versa. Like, I paid for the activity, so now Cooper is paying for the activity. And it doesn't matter if, not that we're going on extravagant, like, things, but it doesn't matter to us if one person pays $100 and the next person pays $75. Like, that's a boundary that we've set and talked about. Like, and yeah, she definitely needs to set boundaries, but I also see as a girl, from a guy that you're dating, it's very scary sometimes to set those boundaries because you don't know how they're going to react. So
I really respect when, like, you're on a first date and you split the bill or whatever, but I definitely am of the mind, especially with same-sex couples, it's like whoever asked on the date or planned the date is the one that pays, because they're the ones that, I remember when I was actually, when Sean and I matched for the first time, I didn't have a job. It was right after I graduated and it was in the middle of COVID, and I was like, trying to come up with dates that were free, like hiking and stuff. And so I asked him while we were messaging each other, do you know of any good hikes around here? And he was like, what was your answer?
Oh, I just kind of like didn't respond for a little bit because I'm like, oh my gosh.
He's one of these hikers.
He's one of these freaking Utah hikers.
And I'm not.
Valid.
And I'm so not. Like, I enjoy an easy nature walk or something, but, like, I'm not.
Who wants to go on a hike for their first date and sweat?
Yes, right?
I would be like, gross.
It's so gross. And a lot of very one-on-one time where I'm like, I don't even know if I like this person or want to spend that much time with them.
Okay, so I had a really bad idea.
But wait. It's funny, though.
You brought it up.
Because he's not the hiker, but he is, and I feel like in your relationship, you've been on more hikes than he has.
Probably.
Yeah. On one.
Yeah, one. Which is more than me.
That's
in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's why I was asking him. I've lived in Utah my whole life, but I don't know hikes in Utah. So I was like, do you know of any? Because I'll take you on that. That'll be our date. Really wanted to ask him out, but I knew I couldn't afford to take him to dinner or something. And he wasn't asking me out, so hike is what you get.
Period. I respect it, honestly.
That is smart. Cooper is always very savvy. He can, he always knows how to add on to an idea or create something from nothing. So.
Yeah, that's so Christ-like.
Good on you for realizing, too, that you didn't have money and that you weren't going to make him pay, but like, hey, I want to initiate something, so let's do something in my budget.
Yeah, maybe I should have been more creative, though. Thought of something other than a hike.
Well, you're getting to know each other. Now you know he doesn't like hiking.
And neither do I.
So
let's go shopping at Costco.
Oh my gosh, that would drive me nuts. Grocery shopping is my least favorite thing to do in the whole wide world. Love it?
I just say because they have free samples everywhere.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, that is so
that
smart.
would be a good date.
Mm-hmm.
No nay.
Yes, I go on lots of dates.
I can get behind that.
I'm surprised I fit y'all into my schedule.
That actually, now I'm going to build off of your idea. That would actually be a really cute date idea, to like go to Costco, try all the free samples, and then together decide which one you're going to like buy, and then go home and make it. That'd be fun.
It's cute.
That's so
I'm
cute.
going to steal that probably. Yeah. That's really cute. Okay. Any other comments about this one?
I hope she finds love.
Yeah, me too. Poor girl. Poor complete -talk -8599. Hope you find love. Okay, so I have 2, but I want you to choose which one you want to hear. Okay? So the first one, the title is, Am I the asshole for telling my friends that my husband isn't well read? And then the other one is, Am I the asshole for being upset my aunt took her kids out of the same room I was sleeping in?
For being upset?
Am I the asshole for being upset? So, aunt took her kids out of the same room I was sleeping in, or telling my friends that my husband isn't well read?
I just from the comment, I want to be like, you're not the asshole, but I'm like, why are you upset? Why would you want to sleep in a room with kids? Like, have your own room. That's kind of weird.
Like, that makes me more curious to know about it.
The deets.
That
like,
one?
why are you upset? Well, both of them. But honestly, the kids, yeah.
I gotta know why.
Okay,
I gotta know why.
Majority kids. Okay. It's a longer one, so bear with me. So am I the asshole for being upset my aunt took her kids out of the same room I was sleeping in? My uncle married a Brazilian woman around 2018 and recently had a second child. To preface, this woman, for whatever reason, dislikes me. No matter what I do, I feel she's become one of those snobby rich wife tales and now thinks she's better than everyone else. She doesn't say it publicly, but she plays her attitude in such a way. Small remarks here and there, make sure to flaunt her new designer clothes my uncle buys her, thinks she's good enough to drive drunk in her new Mercedes, etc. My uncle's house was under construction the day I needed to sleep over, so my uncle set me up with a bed in the kids' room. My cousins are 4 and 7, and we see each other constantly from babysitting, family events, and barbecues, usual family stuff. The night of the sleepover, I'm settling into the spare bed in the room, and as I'm falling asleep, my aunt came quickly into the room randomly and whisked away the kids to her room. I got worried and knocked on my aunt's door and asked if everything is all right. She politely told me everything is fine and that she just felt better if the kids slept in their room for the night. A bit odd, but I thought nothing of it. The next morning, I did get curious enough to ask my uncle about it, and he got a bit quiet before mentioning that his wife was nervous about me being with the kids. I asked what he meant, and the truth came out. My uncle told me my aunt suspected I would touch her kids in the middle of the night, so she took them into their room. I felt sick to my stomach. To have such a disgusting thought about me made me want to throw up. I've literally babysat them for hours unsupervised while they went on trips before. Nothing I've done in the past would ever lead her to suspect I would be someone to do that sort of thing. My uncle agrees, but said it's his wife's wish and I should respect it. But it didn't make any sense to me. Since I found this out, I refuse to talk to my uncle or aunt. Of course, they believe I'm being stupid and should understand that people from her country do that sort of thing and that I'm being culturally insensitive to her and her kids. But I know she did it just to be horrible to me, as she's had her own family around her kids just fine without any problems. I feel like it was a disgusting display of power and judgment over me. Honestly, at this point, I'm just done with them. To suggest I would do something like this is so hurtful. I really just do not know what else to say. Am I the asshole?
Woo! Okay, so
before we answer,
okay. Mm-hmm.
And there's an edit to this. So he I guess I didn't say that before, but he says, I'm a 21-year-old and I'm a male. So my aunt said people in Brazil have a history of this and that me being offended is my cultural appropriation and not being sensitive to the topic.
Well, I want to address the edit really quick and just say all countries have this problem with pedos that are disgusting. And so maybe she has some kind of history in her past where this is a problem for her, something that she needs to be cautious of, and I acknowledge that. But why is she making it about her country? Because that's everywhere. I'm just going to say that. Sean, did you have something to say?
Yeah, immediately I thought about, like, my mom was super protective because, yeah, like, it happens. And, like, especially especially if it happened to them or, like, happened to their siblings or people, like, they know it happened to. And, yeah, to Cooper's point, it happens everywhere. It's not just, yeah, it happens in every country. It happens in every society. And it's disgusting and wrong. But I feel like, the whole, like, there were some points in there of, like, you let me babysit them while you're gone for hours. Like, it's on kind
trips.
On trips.
Yeah.
So that's like you're unmonitoring for the same amount of time. Like they're gonna sleep overnight. It's the same thing as you being gone for a trip and they're left with him. So it is kind of weird, and it sounds like she's kind of a bitch. Not kind of. She sounds like she's. And the cutting out, that would be me. Cut them out. They're toxic. They're dumb. For the uncle to not even, like, I don't know, the uncle to just be like, well,
it's whatever she wants.
It's whatever she wants.
Mm-hmm.
And also, clearly, the uncle lets her do a lot of other crazy things and, like, not have, why are you driving our Mercedes around drunk or driving around drunk, or period? Like, so.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the uncle is okay with, 1, driving the Mercedes around. 2, hopefully she doesn't have the kids in the Mercedes. Like, that is crazy. But you don't say anything to your wife when it's like, this kid, he's my nephew, who we trust to babysit. You're going to say that he's going to touch them in the middle of the night? Like, then if you feel that way, don't set him up in their room. Set him on the couch or whatever. Like, there's so many ways to go about this than the way that they did this.
Yeah. Honestly, though, if she ultimately was just like, I don't want them to sleep in the same room, I understand that. But she's crazy. This is all crazy people.
Yeah, I think it's extremely offensive to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's a him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's extremely offensive. But I can't blame the mom because I just feel like in my family, okay, so in Tongan, like, there's something called whakaapapa. So that means the boys and the girls, they have to act a certain way around each other. So, like, if me, Cooper, and Sean were chilling in here, just laying around, and you walked in, we would have to, like, stand up. Or sit up. Like, we couldn't just... So I always feel like... I feel like her taking the kids...
So I'm one of the guys then, huh?
Now you are. No, or we're the girls. Weren't you just saying
when we're on this couch, we are the girls.
You're the girls. Yeah, so I always grew up around... And that rule, whakapapa, is pretty much just like trying to keep everybody from sleeping with each other because... fact check me, I don't know. But it's pretty much that. Her taking, if it were me and she like took her kids out of the room, I personally wouldn't be offended. I just wouldn't care.
Well, and that's what I was saying. Like, she has every right to protect her kids, but do it in a different way. Like, this is someone. Wouldn't you be offended though, like if you were babysitting these kids and being unsupervised, and then all of a sudden she doesn't feel safe around you?
Oh, it's extremely offensive. I like, honestly, yeah, I would definitely be mad at it. But I don't know what the mom's going through. I don't know if she experienced anything since, like, I took care of them. Like, I just don't know. And if she's, like, being more protective of her children, okay, well, I have other things like that. That's just my, like, I just don't feel like it's something that I would be that bothered about.
So. I agree. I'm glad you brought up, like, who knows between the time that that person babysat the kids to now with this sleepover. Like, something she could have found something out about her past or her siblings' past or something, and been extra cautious of it. And as you've all said, I think we all agree she has the right to parent her kids the way that she wants to, and living on the more cautious side of things is always the way to go. But, yeah, I just wish there was more communication. I don't know, because obviously it was a weird thing to like set up the bed in there, and maybe the uncle did that without conferring with her, and so then she felt like she had to go and take them out. I still think that person is old enough to understand, like, hey, this is what's going on, this is what's in my head. I don't necessarily think that you would do this, but I have to take my kids out. And it seems like their entire relationship was this woman didn't have respect for him ever, and never showed that respect for him, and never showed any kind of effort to get to know him or communicate well. And so she seems like a crazy person. She has a right to parent how she needs to. And I think, like you said, be offended if you want to be offended, but there's lots of variables in this situation.
And be offended and then walk away.
Yeah.
Which it sounds like that's what he did. He's like ignoring or has stepped away from them, which honestly, for sure. And the uncle, like, for the being an enabler.
Yeah, I think where I would get the most offended is not even from the woman. It's my uncle not even standing up for me. You know, someone that I know that knows that I'm not a bad person doesn't say anything because it's whatever she wants, she gets.
It's another unknown variable, though, because maybe he did. And it was still determined, like, the mother needs to do what she needs to do for her kids.
But also, if she really is crazy as we're thinking, maybe the uncle just wants less of...
I don't want to deal with this shit.
Yeah, sorry, nephew, but yeah, you gotta deal with
I was tired. I had to go to sleep. I said, okay, fine, go get them.
Okay, yeah.
I think I struggle with the whole, like, and I don't know if he's exaggerating, driving drunk with the Mercedes. We don't know if that's real, but if she's doing that kind of stuff, it does paint her to be a specific type of person, you know? So it's hard. It's really hard when you don't know everything.
Which is why I would cut her out. And them.
Yeah. So Sean would I think I would cut them out.
I would cut them out.
Cut them out?
Yeah, I wouldn't, like, make a stink of it and, like, send them a text being like, we're done. I just
avoid be like, well, now I know where we stand. Uncle. I've always known where we stand. Crazy woman.
And you little shits.
I was sick of babysitting anyway.
Right.
Honestly, babysitting sucks.
You hear that?
Oh my gosh.
Everyone she's babysat.
I've only...
Honestly, best birth control ever.
Bruh, I just remember babysitting like a handful of times. I didn't do it like often. But I was raiding everybody's fridges. I'm like, oh shit, these people got food.
I had one, so I babysat a lot. That's how I made a lot of my money in high school. And I was never crowned nanny, but I was basically nanny for this family. So every day after high school, I would leave school and go babysit at their house until like 7 o'clock. And they never fed their kids. They didn't neglect them. It wasn't like anything crazy. But they would feed them like 2 carrots and olive, like cheese and whatever. That was like, she was very specific. So one Friday night when the parents went out, she made them like pumpkin seed cookies or something like that. Super healthy. And they had like a couple chocolate chips in each of them. And so I felt so bad for the kids because they're always asking me for a treat. And you know what their treat was? A single marshmallow. So the parents went out and I just let the kids have as many cookies as they want. I mean, they're pumpkin with like a couple chocolate chips. I didn't think it would hurt anything or whatever. And it didn't. But I just remember her coming home and she goes, oh, how many cookies did you eat? I said, I had 2. She goes, so the kids had 12 between them? I said, oh, yeah, I guess so.
Were you asked back?
Oh, yeah. Several times after that. But the first night that I actually babysat for them was the day after I had gone to a midnight premiere and I fell asleep. So the dad had taken the older girl out, and so I was just with the 6-month-old baby. But the baby was upstairs sleeping, but I fell asleep on the couch, and she walked in on me sleeping. And, I mean, she called me back after that, so, but, yeah. I was tired. I was a great babysitter to those kids that always say, Miss Blakely, when's Miss Blakely coming over? So, she made them call me Miss Blakely. I didn't make them call me Miss Blakely.
That doesn't sound like
that was weird. So, I loved those kids.
One marshmallow, Miss Blakely.
I know! How heartbreaking is that?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yes. So, yeah, I let them have as many freaking pumpkin cookies as they wanted. It was every kid's right. Anyway,
Christ-like.
babysitting. Hate it. Well, that's all I have for us. It's good stories, good thoughts. I thought this was fun.
Yeah,
Oh, this was great.
Yeah. So, that's it. Bitzes out.